How many of these have we done? We've done a bunch. And the one time I scheduled ahead of time, um, yeah, I totally screwed it up. Ooh, I left my laptop mic on the whole time I was playing. Oh, man. What a disaster. But, yeah, I mean, that's going to happen. So let's just get back to playing. Matthias, here we go again. All right, it's going to work this time, Matthias, okay? I'm going to get it right. I was going to screw something up because I scheduled it ahead of time, so well, at least we're warmed up now. At least we're warmed up. All right. Those mics on, this mic off. Man, I can't believe I did that. Can't believe on that last stream I left the laptop mic on the whole time. See, I knew it was going to happen. I mean, I thought it might happen because I'd never scheduled one ahead of time before. You know? And I had the opportunity, so I thought I would give it a try, and it felt different. You know? Excuse me. You know, it felt different. And I was telling myself, it's just like all the other ones. It's not a big deal. You've done it a million times before. It goes great. And a lot of the streams of the past, it's like, I didn't know I was going to stream until like 30 minutes before. It's okay, I've got some time. Let's do it. So it's like a last minute, you know, sit down and blast yourself to the world. And it's worked out. We've had some great streams, some great discussions, some fun on the drums, you know, with the struggle of like getting there. Getting off the runway and playing the ideas that come to mind. But I did it. I scheduled it ahead of time, and I had reservations about doing that. But like a lot of things that are like kind of new and scary, like you just got to do it. You just got to do it. Just takes one step to jump off the plane. Just takes one step. And so I did it, and I screwed it up, you guys. I left the laptop mic on the whole time. Anyways, enough about that. Let's not live in the past. Lessons learned. Move on, Steve, all right? We're here now. We got the sound working. We played some drums. Enough about me, all right? Let's see what you folks have to say, all right? What is going on here? What is going on here in the chat? It's all YouTube. Here we go again. Oh, man, Negasaurus on YouTube. The playing was tight. Oh, on the last stream, like when I screwed it up, I mean, I was having fun. I felt like it was going all right. You know, other than the severely loud and distorted audio. Besides that, sounded great. I appreciate the compliment, though, actually. Calv on YouTube is like, do it all again and slow it down from time to time so we can see what you're doing. You know, I kind of did that a couple times. Let's see. We're just clicking things here and seeing how this is going on other platforms. Yeah. Man, poor people on Facebook must be like, yeah, I'm not watching this guy. Sounds all crap. So, but we got it working now. The YouTube folks, they know to come back. You normal YouTube folks, the guys that keep coming back, I really appreciate it, actually. Really appreciate it. So yeah, it was fun. It's fun. Let's see what it looks like on YouTube. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you what it looks like. Is this it? Oh, I don't think that's working. Tried to share my screen. That's not working. Oh well. At least I caught it this time. At least I caught the thing that's not working. I caught it while it wasn't working anyways. All right, so we got the sound worked out. Let's see, Bobby Vincent, what's up? Mostly appreciate your regular drummer under the chops. Thank you. Let's see, on YouTube, Raymond says, hi, Steve, great to see you. I'm a 64-year-old drummer in the UK. Mainly thanks for doing. It's great. Regards, Ray. Ray, thank you so much. 64 and still drumming. That's a goal for me. That's a goal for me, man. So, yeah. Oh, it's crazy. I'm just like watching the stream and showing my desktop. That's not working. Let's see. Are those 13 hats on the right, says Bobby Vincent. The X hat is not, I don't think it's 13. Check this thing out. I threw this on there hoping it would kind of give it like a different, like kind of shaky maraca kind of sound. You can't really hear this though on there. Although this does not have its own mic. It's just the overhead and the room mic picking it up. I think these are different sizes, actually. The X hat. Let's see what we got here. This is a 13 master sound on the top. A master sound, right? Oh, jeez. How fitting. Yeah, the hi-hat clip was like, coming unscrewed. Those that know the struggle is real. All right, so 13-inch master sound on top. On the bottom, check it out, 12-inch master sound hi-hat bottom. This is super heavy. This thing is like, this reminds me of the old Z. Remember the Z series from the 80s? For us Gen Xers and older. The Z series was like the hard rock, super heavy cymbal. So yeah, 12-inch master sound on the bottom, 13-inch master sound on the top. And it's interesting, they both appear to be A. Oh, this is an A custom. I get it. This is an A custom master sound. So hence the different finish and weight. Whereas this is just a normal A 13. So it's a 13 on top of the 12. This is Steve taking very good care of his cymbals. Pardon my sweaty back. All right. Boom. I like this shells thing, you know. It's cool. I bought that after seeing Hiatus Kaiyote Hiatus. I think it's Hiatus Kaiyote. I bought those after seeing a clip of a concert on YouTube of those guys. Those folks, I should say, because it's an all guy band, and then this amazing singer who sounds great. But the drummer, man, is so great on there, and I'm sorry I don't know his name, but check out Hiatus Kaiyote. And he had one of those shell things like on his hi-hat, and I was like, ooh, I want to check that out. So I did. Let's see. So that's the hi-hat on the right. That's for Bobby Vincent. Let's see. How about some regular sticks besides the ones halfway used up? You know, I don't know. This one of them really, like, this one's about to go, man. Look at that. It's like my dog got a hold of it. If the sticks are working, I'm like, it's working. I mean, I thought one was going to break, and I dropped one. Man, the one I dropped is really, really like, yeah, I don't know if a stick feels good, man. And the tip is still able to you know, do its job, then yeah. But yeah, we've got some new ones down here. But my stick bag is like, I need a new stick bag. Because the string on this one broke. The string on this one broke. So I need, like, I got to get a new stick bag. So we'll see. Erskine had a great stick bag on the market for a while, but I don't think they make it anymore. It was like an independently standing thing. Let's see. Post some stick bag recommendations, you guys. Let's see. We talked about the X-Hat. Let's see what else folks are saying. We're reading the comments here for those that are just showing up. How about some regular sticks? Yeah, let's see. Room question. Has anybody mastered what his left hand is doing with the matched grip? Left hand is doing with matched grip. Well, my left hand is traditional grip, so I'm not sure I understand the question. Let's see. Steve's ghost notes on the left hand just blow me away. It's hard to even follow. Thank you. And you guys just got to stick with it. Just keep drumming. Don't stop drumming. You'll get there. Matthias with the applause. You guys, we say it every time. If you haven't checked out Matthias's channel, click on his name after the stream is done. Or click it in a new tab. Middle click for those PC users. Middle click the link and it'll open a new tab automatically. Or control click in Mac and choose open in a new tab. But yeah, Matthias, you guys, has an amazing channel with great drumming, great drum sound, better than my drum sound. Live, anyway. On a recorded like session where I have time to mix, I'll go toe-to-toe with you, Matthias. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Seriously, Matthias is an amazing drummer. Let's see. Push the boundaries. Yeah. Let's see, of course, it was some of your best work. I know, man. The previous stream was just, it was fun. Let's see, I bought a cymbal, obviously not bright in most spots, as jazz for Jazz for Ashel on YouTube. It seems I can still learn from beginner, finding it the right best spots. It was a cheapie, and maybe dump it later. Honestly, man, I mean, I don't know. I think a good player can sit down and just kind of make them talk, make them sing, you know, have some fun, make some music, you know. Different setups and different cymbals might require you to you know, do a little self mixing on the spot, you know, which is a thing, which is why it's so valuable to play different gigs with different artists in different venues that require you to, like, you know, get good at different volume levels and different modes, you know. So that way you can say, hey, check out this 4-piece, you know, sit down and play, guy or person, folks. You play drums, have a seat, you know. It's like you want to be able to be like, okay, boom, sit down, do some stuff, you know. Have some fun, you know. Be able to self-mix, be able to put yourself in those modes. Let's see, Ryan Martin on Facebook says, hey, your old instructional video, I lost it. Is it still available somewhere? You're talking about Shed Some Light, I believe. I think it is available on Amazon, actually. Let's see. It's still out there. Yeah, I see it on Amazon. You can buy the DVD. It's called Shed Some Light, published by Hal Leonard. We had fun making that in the 90s. Let's see if we can do a screen share that actually works. Yeah, that works. Save. Transition. Boom. There's my screen. Yeah, look. Shed Some Light on Amazon. $23, folks. Can't go wrong. But I'm just showing this because somebody asked, you know. It's not like, I mean, I don't want to be the guy that's like constantly pimping my stuff, you know. I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, please buy my video, you know. Yeah, we talked about different things on there. That was man, that was fun making that. That was in the 90s. It was a different time. It was so drastically different. With every passing year, things just get more and more like different and detached. The delta from year to year is getting bigger and bigger. But yeah, that was a great opportunity. You know, I have houseofdrumming.com, which is still up. Actually, it's a drum forum where folks have been on there chatting about drumming for a long time, man. 90s. It's been in Monodrummer a couple of times, and back then we were like, you know, hey, you know, there's some folks on there. Let's take advantage. You know, living in LA, I had friends that worked in television and movies, and they were like, let's do it. Let's make a video. You can sell it on your website. You know, and so I did. I had a friend named Abe Feinblum, who was a great drummer. He had his own studio back in the day in the 90s. You know, we spent a day recording audio and video, like one day in his studios. They were called Inner World Recording, which is no longer around. Yeah, we filmed it, and we got it, like, the whole post-production, color corrected, mixed, blah, blah, blah. I had friends that did all that for me. And we made a VHS instructional video in the 90s and sold it on houseofdrumming.com. And it worked. You know, people bought it, and I'm pretty sure it was the first internet-only instructional video, actually, which is, I think, kind of cool. I could be wrong about that, but I think it was the first, like, internet-only, proper, you know, professionally made instructional video that you could buy. And shortly after, someone contacted me that worked at Hal Leonard, and they were like, man, this is great. Do you mind if I show it to some people? And every time I tell this story, I forget the guy's name, and I always feel bad because it was such a big help to me. And I said, sure. And Hal Leonard reached out, and they were like, we want to publish this for DVD. And so I worked out a deal with them. I remember calling some guys that also had DVDs out already. Some you know, the few big name drummers that I felt comfortable calling. And I ran, the specs of the deal by them, and they were like, yeah, that sounds reasonable. And I remember Verge was one of the guys I think that I called, and he was helpful with some advice on that. Anyways, yeah, I told them, it was funny because I told Hal Leonard, I said, yes, we'll put it on DVD. Hey, what's up? It's Steve Orkin on Facebook. What's up, Steve Orkin? Good to see you. Thank you for hanging out. I told Hal Leonard, I'm like, I want creative control over the cover of the DVD because I didn't want them to do some cheesy, like, you can do it too, some cheesy stock photo thing. And so I had a friend of mine who was good with Photoshop. Again, this is back in the 90s. And I was working at Activision Publishing doing like production stuff on video games this whole time. So I'm like trying to put out this instructional video. I'm like working with video game developers, taking screenshots and videos of their games and for marketing purposes and like juggling those things. It was fun, actually. It's still kind of my life right now, video games and drums. But yeah, my friend made this cool, I hired a photographer and we did a photo shoot and we made a cover and we managed to get the extra, on DVDs, those that remember. You could have there was a bonus audio track and there was some live footage on there, some bonuses, and you could make it so it's like just the drums and whatever. Anyways, that shed some light. It's out there. That helped me get endorsements, actually. As soon as I had a valid product on the market, I pursued endorsements through other channels and managed to get them and still have them to this day with Zildjian and Yamaha. I love their stuff, but I mean, it's kind of like, any day I'm just expecting them to be like, oh, we're not interested in you anymore because whatever. I have drummer imposter syndrome. Actually, anytime I'm at some drummer event or something with other big name guys, I'm like, are they going to notice that I'm here and kick me out? It's funny. Imposter syndrome is real. Yeah, VHS and DVDs back in the day. Let's see. Raymond on YouTube says, how would you advise how to play one-handed 16th notes on the hi-hat with your right hand? We've talked about that in the past, but that's a good question. And I'm trying to get less talking and more playing on these streams. So let's talk about this. 16ths on the right hand on the hi-hat. That's like Moeller Technique for those that are not familiar with the Moeller Technique. And even if you're not familiar with the Moeller Technique, you're probably doing the Moeller Technique anyway. And a lot of fuss is made about the Moeller Technique, and it's kind of not. It's kind of a simple thing that almost like if you play drums for more than 10 minutes, then your body's going to start doing the Moeller Technique in some fashion on its own, generally speaking. But basically, the Moeller Technique, the benefit is like you get multiple strokes for the price of one. Okay, and that helps when you're doing like 16ths on the hi-hat. For example, if I were to hit the hi-hat with a downstroke, and then on the upstroke, I hit it again. Right, so I'm not actually hitting it a second time. I'm just bringing my hand up from the first time, and by bringing my hand up, I get another stroke. Right, so that looks like this. Let me see let me put on this thing so I can see what I'm doing here. This is gonna be really loud because I don't have the mics on, but let's turn on the mics and do a proper Moeller demo. All right, so that's like basic Moeller demonstration, like in a groove context. A lot of, the funky drummer from James Brown, someone mentioned, Bobby Vincent mentioned on YouTube. Yeah, that's that's a lot. That's a lot of where that stuff comes from. But it's worth mentioning that folks don't talk about this a lot. But it's worth mentioning that, like, feel free to use both hands. It's going to have a completely different feel. It's not better or worse. It's just, what feel is the one you want, because two hands is going to have kind of a more even thing in terms of volume of the strokes, because the Moeller technique, you're going to end up getting a volume difference out of those strokes. And you can work on getting the Moeller technique and getting the volume on all those strokes, like even, for sure. But there's strengths and weaknesses to each one, and I'm all about strengths and weaknesses when contrasting things and comparing things, instead of being like, one's better than the other, It's like traditional grip versus match grip, heel up versus heel down. There's amazing players that play in all different kind of ways. Each one has strengths and weaknesses, period, the end. What's right for you? Which person do you want to be? Do you want to be the person that does this, or do you want to be the person that does this, Which person do you want to be? Pick a lane and commit and practice your butt off, really. I did want to mention, it's been a while since we did this. We did this on some older streams, but another benefit of the Moeller technique is it really helps with single stroke rolls, which I don't do at all in the process of, like, improvising and whatever. I really should try to, kind of go to that gear, because you can get a lot out of it. Speaking specifically about, like, when you do like 3 strokes and 4 strokes and you introduce the other hand. Now, if you play match grip, then whatever you do for the right hand goes to the left hand. If you play traditional grip, the Moeller thing is a little different, but it definitely exists, obviously. Point being is, like, if you play, groups of 4 notes single stroke, or groups of 3 notes single stroke, you can kind of use the Moeller technique on both hands during the singles, and you can get a decent amount of speed out of that. So let me show you what I mean. So, yeah, choked in the middle there, but you get the point. 2 notes, 3 notes, 4 notes, Moeller technique, kind of put them together. So, whatever handed you are. So I'm right-handed, so my right hand's playing all the downbeats. The left hand is playing all the upbeats. But the technique is the same. And so that's one of the benefits of working on the Moeller, as you can kind of turn it on and get your singles going, That's super fun. And I don't do that a whole lot, I should, I feel like I should kind of lean on that a little bit more. My singles suck anyway. I'm not a singles I'm not like a blazing singles guy, you know. Those guys just kind of, they just, it just baffles me. You know, it's crazy. Let's see. Emmett on Facebook is talking about Jeff Porcaro. Yeah, a lot of his grooves, you know, Keep Forgetting from Michael McDonald, Georgie Porgy from Toto, I believe. And yeah, those sweet 16th notey grooves, man. There's just no substitute. You know, it's worth mentioning that, you know, once you get the 16ths going, replying to Ryan Martin, where is it available? Says Greg. Yeah, Shed Some Light is available on Amazon, the DVD. But it's really old. I'm not even saying like, oh, get Shed Some Light, it's amazing. Like I was like 22 or 3, you know, like I kind of want to rip it and just put it on my YouTube channel, but that would be committing copyright infringement against me. Ghost notes underneath the 16th notes on the hi-hat. That's fun. That takes a little doing, you know, because at that point you're playing, you know, both hands at the same time. And that can be a little challenging, you know. So let me show a little bit of that. So at the end there, I wanted to demonstrate like doing all the limbs together. Like 16th notes on the hat, 16th notes on the snare, 16ths on the foot, the bass drum, and then opening my hi-hat like whatever I did on the upbeat or I think it was on the upbeat. So the reason why I did that is to demonstrate like all 4 limbs working right at the same time. And, you know, we've talked about this before lots of times, like having that centered anchor allows all 4 limbs, allows all 4 limbs to do their thing, as opposed to like leaning. Like if you're leaning to one side, you're not going to be able to do that, or you're going to struggle doing it, or it won't be as good as if you, as if you do it like centered. That's just a good example of that kind of thing, you know. Getting the volume where you want it on the ghost notes, on the backbeat, on the bass drum. And my 16ths on the bass drum, like they're pretty sloppy. They're not 100% on the grid. But that's just on me. But I can hear it at least, you know, like boo 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 ga 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 boo sta da 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 boo boo boo. You know, it's like my foot gets a little tense, and it's not very relaxed because my right foot technique is not, you know, as good as where it needs to be. But I'm old now, and get off my lawn. Just kidding. Yeah, so that's more on 16th notes on the hi-hat, and, you know, kind of advanced things to practice with that. Yeah, so there you go. Cheers. My name is Steve Holmes. Thanks for hanging out. We've got some other comments we're reading here. Let's see. I'm quite fast playing kick left right. This is Nicholas Media on YouTube. I'm quite fast playing kick left right, but I find it hard to get the same speed with kick right left. Do you play kick left right and kick right left at the same speed, or do you prefer one of them, and how can I develop them the same speed? Well, I mean, you know, if whatever one is the weak one, you just want to attack that. Just attack it, you know? And this is the kind of thing where, like, what subdivision you're playing is totally relevant, right? Like, you didn't say, like, is it triplets, 8-note triplets, 16-note triplets, 16 notes, 32nd notes, blah, blah, blah. Because we're talking about a 3-note grouping, and groups of 3 in an even subdivision, like 16ths or 32nds, can be tricky. Because it's going to go over the bar line, or you've got to cut it off and come out on 1 before it goes over the bar line in a way that sounds good, hopefully, which is a thing. But yes, foot right left, foot left right. Which one of those is the downbeat? Because if you shift it over, you know, if you do like left right kick, left right click, then the left is the downbeat. You know what I mean? And so these are all things you've got to pay attention to. Most folks, when they practice these 3-note groupings between the hands and the feet, they just do one. You know, you got to turn on the click and go through all the different combinations on all the different subdivisions. That's the way to really do this. So you don't have to worry about this anymore. I assume that, like, you want to be the person that's like, oh yeah, 3-note groupings, yeah, like regardless of where it starts, regardless of what subdivision, I know what it sounds like, I know where it is on the grid, I can just do it because I've spent the time working on it. You know, this is why I keep saying you got to work on the right stuff the right amount of time. This is the key, in my opinion. To work on the right stuff the right amount of time, you know, because you don't want to have those barriers, you know. You don't want to be like, oh, geez, this is something that I'm not good at, you know. But to answer the question, like, yeah, I mean, foot right left, if you're right-handed, is going to feel more natural. But like foot left right, you know, is you just gotta work on it, you know. Start slow and just go right to fast, you know, or ramp up the speed, like whatever. But you just make sure when you're practicing this kind of thing, you're doing it like with a groove. Like, do a groove, do the thing. Do a groove, do the thing. Like, this is the way to do it. This is the way to practice all things that are like fill and chops and soloing. This is how you do it. You play the groove, play the thing, play the groove, play the thing. Don't just play the thing, you know, because the whole point of playing this stuff is that so you can, you know, play it while you're drumming in a musical situation, I assume, and that means playing a groove of some kind. So, yeah, go through different subdivisions. I tend to lead with the foot because that keeps the foot on the downbeat. And so you don't have to worry about like playing a double kick to come out on 1. Like if you want to play a bass drum on 1 at the end of your fill, and the bass drum during the fill is not on the downbeat, then you're going to have to, like, you know, change the sticking a little bit to come out on 1. That's why, you know, if you're playing 16-note triplets, da-ga-da-da-ga-da-da-ga-da-da-da, and you're doing foot right, or just 3-note grouping, like foot right, right, then the foot is just playing 8th notes. That's the beauty of this stuff. Like, once you, like, take comfort in that, you know, once you're playing 16-note triplets, you're doing groups of 3, your foot's just doing 8th notes on the downbeat, you know? Like, this is what I mean. See, and I actually did the thing at the end there. I did the thing that I said, like, is the thing to avoid. Like, I put a double kick at the end there because I got, you know, my body, you know, got mixed up because it was like, oh, are we on the downbeat? What's going on? And we got to, you know, make sure we come out on one. That's the thing. Like getting out of the fill and coming out on one, like, is a thing, especially if you're playing, like, a lot of notes. You want to make sure that you're not mixing it up. Coming out. Let's see. Oh, guys, Jeff Miley is here on YouTube. Jeff Miley, amazing guitar player. We did a stream, him and I together. Go to my channel. Those of you that have not seen my YouTube channel, please go. Please subscribe. We're trying to increase the subscriber count on the channel. So if you dig what you're seeing and you're not familiar with my channel, there's tons of videos on there. Tell your drummer friends, have them subscribe. Let's keep the good thing going. Let's see, we were talking about groups of 3. Where did we leave off? 13, working great inspiration for me. This is Yeet. I'm 13 now, and your work is a great inspiration for me. I study your work and come up with mine after a little practicing. I'm trying to learn from you. Thanks so much. You're welcome. That's great to hear. This is what it's all about. Just getting this stuff out there and have people do their thing with it, you know? Let's see. Yeah, Nate Smith is known for, says Emmett on Facebook, one-handed 16ths. Yes, ace of aces. Quarter equals 106. Man, Nate Smith is such an amazing drummer, you know? You know, give that guy, like, a kick, snare, and hat, and, like, you know, there goes your whole day, you know? He's just going to play amazing stuff. I would love to have a conversation with that guy. He's such a great drummer. Let's see. Jean or Jean says, don't forget accent on the hi-hat. Okay. Let's see. Greg on Facebook says, not to get off topic, Steve, I just want to ask if you have demonstrated how to practice faster comping with the left hand triplet grid against ride. When it becomes faster ride tempos, triplets are too difficult. You think in eighths? If so, how do you develop that? I assume that you're talking about swing playing. First, before we go on, Dick Nixon on YouTube with the $10 donation. Dick Nixon, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Those of you that are interested in supporting, follow Dick's lead on YouTube. There's a button where you can make a little donation. That would be amazing because I don't have a Patreon or anything. This is it. All right. This is our fun little stream. So left hand comping while right hand is on the ride. I mean, I guess, you know, you're talking about triplets, and I suppose it doesn't matter if you're talking about, I mean, it matters, but the answer is applicable to any style. You know, if you're playing swing or if you're playing, you know, something that's not swung, that's just kind of triplety, like what the left hand is doing. That's like a multi-step process, and it's interesting because the most difficult steps are the ones that no one talks about, really. And that is, like, once you develop the coordination and independence to be able to play left-hand stuff against the swing pattern, what do you play? What do you play? Because you're literally asked. Basically, it's like, okay, you learned all the things. Now just play whatever you want against the right cymbal. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, go. You know, and it's like, well, you know, coming up with, like, your phrasing, the phrasing that you like, the phrasing that you think feels good, you know, the phrasing that works in musical situations. You know, that's the process, you know. And the good news is there's not a whole lot to choose from. I mean, there's a lot, but I mean, we're talking about eighth notes, and so there's only different combinations. There's only so many combinations of, like, you know, hand foot, hand foot, hand foot foot hand. Like, there's only so many, you know. And so once you learn all of the, you know, all the combinations, and you just kind of, like, just practice improvising and come up with your own kind of vocabulary and stuff that you like. But, you know, and I have a video on my channel talking about, you know, jazz drumming and that's like helpful blah for jazz drumming. If you haven't seen that video, definitely check it out. But yeah, just like the volume difference between the right hand and the left hand, just making sure that your time is not getting in the way in terms of volume, you know, for the rest of the band and for the venue and all that stuff. Because what you want is, like, you want your time to gel, but support. Like, you need it to be like a comfy, you know, bottom kind of layer foundation for everything else to sit sit on, you know, like a sturdy but relaxed foundation. Sturdy meaning like it's not going anywhere, it's not shifting, it's reliable, you know. You want other musicians to be like, oh yeah, I don't have to worry about like the time or the forward motion or the groove of the music because the drummer has that handled. So you want to be able to do that. Let me reread the question again really quick. Faster comping with the left hand triplet. When it comes to faster ride tempos, triplets are too difficult. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just the kind of thing where like when you're playing left hand stuff, you just got to practice at different tempos, you know? I don't know what else to say about that, really. I mean, I can demonstrate and see if I stumble onto something that's worth talking about. I mean, I assume you're talking about swing playing, fast comping with the left hand. Let's see what we can do here. You know, like just play like downbeats and then just play upbeats and then just sorry, play you know, just do downbeats and then do upbeats and then do all the eighth notes and try to get that sounding good and comfortable at fast speeds. You know, like let's just try that. Did you see what happened there? Like I stumbled on the upbeats at the fast tempo, you know? And so I stopped and slowed down and like attacked it, you know? Downbeats, upbeats, eighth notes, you know, little triplety phrases, like whatever, different tempos, but yeah, it's a thing. But and at the end I try to demonstrate like different volumes, like loud and soft, like again it's a swing pattern, and you can hear me like pumping eighth notes with the bass drum sometimes because that kind of feels neat. If there's no bass player, it's like you want to be able to feather that eighth note to kind of give it that walking drive and still be able to do the stuff, like it's tricky. Like this is me trying to do it. Like I can't do it 100%, So I hope that helps. Someone had asked about, that was for Greg on Facebook, talking about left hand triplet comping against the ride cymbal. Let's see, Dick Nixon with the $10 donation on YouTube. We talked about that. Dick Nixon, I think, isn't that Don Draper's dad's name on Mad Men? I think so. Any other Mad Men fans here? Love Mad Men. Seen that show so many times. Let's see, we got some more folks joining. Let's see, Lindsay on YouTube says it's all right. Everyone makes mistakes. Thank you. Thank you, Lindsay. Oh, man. Let's see, Alex, hello. Alex Music on YouTube, hello. Phil, every time I watch you, I am inspired by your playing. 61 years, I still want to keep improving and learning. Yes, that's the way to go, Phil. Thank you for the compliment. Bobby Vincent, next time you pull your PHX apart, please stream. Make a Patreon for those who have it. Oh, make a Patreon for those who have it, I see. Yeah, I guess I could. I mean, does Patreon have a thing where it's like you don't have to provide content every month? Because I don't like giving myself deadlines on here. That was one of the reasons why the stream earlier didn't go well. One of the benefits of this is this is kind of a thing I can kind of do whenever I want. But that's really no excuse. We should do that again. We shouldn't be afraid of the issue. Let's schedule the next one and make sure we get it right. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, I'm on PayPal and Zelle and all that stuff, like steveholmes@gmail.com. If anyone wants to support, that would be great. Oh, geez, some more. Oh, some evangelizing here on YouTube. Interesting. Let's do that. Greg says, thanks, you're welcome. Thanks for sharing today. Do you do private lessons? I do. Off and on. If you're really interested in lessons, you can email me, steveholmes@gmail.com. Let's see, another comment on YouTube. Hello, sir. I'm an amateur to the drums. I just started it, so please give me some tips and tricks for my future. Lots of love from India. Someone wants tips and tricks for their drumming future in India. That's super cool. If you're just starting out, then just make sure you're having fun. Make sure you're listening to lots of music. Always keep sticks in your hand. I mean, that goes for anyone, no matter what level you're at. But just boom, just always have the sticks in your hand. Get them feeling like second nature. When I was young, I just sticks on my hand all the time, driving people crazy, drumming on my leg, drumming on pillows, drumming on pads, drumming on steering wheels, drumming on drums. Trying to get the hands to obey, if you will. Thanks for hanging out, folks. My name is Steve Holmes. We're streaming live from Los Angeles. We were streaming earlier today, and I left the laptop mic on for the duration of the stream, and so it sounded horrible. So we did another one, and that's what this is. So yeah, we're having fun. Reading comments, talking about drumming. What else do we got? Big time help. I was set up online donation ability. You teach concepts. Okay. Yeah, always have sticks nearby, says Matthias. It's interesting. I remember an old, there was a clip of Wynton Marsalis, famous trumpet player. He went on Jay Leno or Johnny Carson, one of the older late night talk shows, and he performed with his trumpet. And then he went and sat and on the with the host and did an interview, and he brought his trumpet with him, and the host asked him about that, why did you bring your and he said, always be ready for battle. Always be prepared for battle, right, Wynton? Man, Wynton. What an amazing trumpet player. All right, we're having fun here on the stream. We're reading comments. Let's see, sir, just another thing. I know how to tune drums. This is a real problem for me. Oh, I don't know how to tune drums. My drums sound so bad due to bad tuning on YouTube. Says sorry, I can't say your name. I've got like this bright light in my face, and it's like I can't read the thing. Talking about tuning, you know, there is a video. We did a stream a few months ago where I took out these drums here, these recording customs that you see back here. I took them out and I set them up, and we took off the heads and put on new heads, and we tuned them from scratch. And I kind of demonstrate my tuning process on there. But, you know, don't get fooled. Like my tuning process is not anything terribly scientific so much as it is. I just have a sound that I'm going for, and I just keep tuning until I get that sound, really. And generally speaking, the bottom head is tuned higher than the top head. But, you know, I love the Remo heads, you know, clear ambassadors on the bottom for the toms. And coated or clear ambassadors on the top, you know, maybe emperors, you know. I've been digging the coated ambassadors and the clear ambassadors. But yeah, I mean, the Yamaha drums, they almost tune themselves, man. They're so consistent. Every Yamaha kit I've ever played, like, you just give it a little, like a quick once around and you get it singing, you know. But you got to have a target in mind. You got to have a finish line in mind. You got to have a sound in mind. You know, this is something we talk a lot about on here. You know, people don't have a goal in mind when they work on something what they're playing, whether it's, you know, groove or hands or fills or tuning. You know, it's like have a finish line in mind so that when you get there, you recognize it. You know, also I think it's helpful to develop the ability to recognize a good sounding drum. You know, when you're in the room with the drums, because it's possible that, you know, it may sound different, like behind it versus in front of it versus when you record it. You know, like you want to get a sense of like when the drum is going to sound, you know, the way you want it to sound in all aspects. You know, you want to be able to recognize, okay, this is it. This is the spot. This is the sound. This is the tuning that will sound good here. It'll sound good here. It'll sound good when we record it. You know, you want to be able to recognize that too. Chances are if it sounds good from here, it probably sounds good in other places too, but that's not always the case. And so it can be tricky. All right. So that was about tuning. Let's see. Someone else on YouTube, Craig's Beats says, any recommendations or drills for building a left hand strength, the weaker hand, other than trying to play lots with the weaker hand? Do you have any recommendations on how to do the thing other than the way you do the thing? No, I don't. Just kidding, Craig's Beats. Because I mean, again, this falls under like, you know, practicing the right stuff, the right amount. You know, just play more with the weaker hand, versus the strong hand. If your left hand is weak, then just do like single stroke on the right, triple stroke on the left. So, you know, that can help. Make sure the coordination is there. You know, earlier we were demonstrating like the 16th notes on the hi-hat and playing ghost notes underneath of it. You know, I'm kind of busy with my left hand, you know, kind of too busy. That's just me falling victim to the style of drumming that I love and developing the ability to play that style to some degree, for better or for worse. But you want to be able to shut that off and just, you know, don't, you know, leave the space and not play the ghost notes if you want. But yeah, for the left hand, I mean, you know, honestly, when I was developing my hands, you know, folks, I spent a lot of time, you know, with marching drumsticks. You know, like drum corps drumsticks, you know, like I marched for 4 years in high school and we were serious about our doubles and our rudiments, you know, and so I spent a lot of time like with these kind of sticks on pads, on drums, you know, I mean, these things are like, you know, these will develop your muscles something fierce. You know, you spend some time playing your mama daddas and your paradiddles and your flam rudiments and all that stuff like on a pillow. With these, you are going to develop your hands. You know, just be careful that you don't hurt yourself. You know, if your arms or if your tendons, your muscles, if your hands are starting to get stiff and hurting, then stop or play slower. You know, don't power through the pain. But I do recommend, like, you know, giving your muscles the ability to do the strokes without the help of the bounce of the drum. You know, being able to just play the speed, you know, without relying on the bounce, and then letting the bounce help. You know, which is kind of the outcome that I had to some degree, for better or for worse. You know, I spent a lot of time like match grip, rock and roll, like the Neil Peart kind of Rush stuff and Van Halen and stuff. That was what I got started on when I was, you know, in elementary school. And so I wasn't relying on rebound or finesse or touch or any of that stuff. I was just beating the shit out of my drums along with recordings for years and years and years. And for better or for worse, it did develop. You know, the muscles did all the work. Your arms did all the work. And I think that there's value to that. You know? I mean, especially when you're younger, because you're less likely to hurt yourself, in my opinion. I mean, obviously everyone's different, and these are just broad general statements. This is why I'm saying, like, you got to monitor yourself. You know, make sure that you're checking, like, you know, am I hurting myself? Do I need to give myself a break? Should I get off the pillow and go to the drum? You know, should I get off my leg because I'm hurting my leg right now? You know, switching from doubles to singles. You know, like my singles suck, but yeah, there's different rudiments that will work different hands differently. You know, just make sure that your weak hand is. You know, even if you develop the speed, check out that stick height on your doubles and your singles, and make sure that the volume of your hand is what you intend it to be. You know, some folks, you know, their left hand will be a little lower height wise. You know, when they're playing their rolls and stuff. So you want to pay attention to that. Okay. Yeah, that's it for weak hand. You know, there's no shortcuts. But, I mean, it shouldn't take too long. These are Ralph... I can't read the last name. These are like Vic Firth Core Master sticks, in case anyone's wondering. These are pretty old. I'm not even sure if they make these anymore. But if you just Google, like, drum core sticks, you know, for snare, like, you'll find, you know, these or similar ones. You know, man, I haven't played with these sticks in forever. Let's see what it feels like. Trying to get those flam rolls going like in groups of 5. Check it, you know, like, but like flam, roll, you know, getting those quick diddles and stuff like that stuff's fun, you know? Anyways, talking about working on weekend and working on hands and whatever. So I hope that was helpful. Let's see. Is your snare levered off? No, it's not. You mean the snare springs? No, they're on. I have the same sticks. I use them on a soft foam practice pad. I'm really busy. Left-hand stuff adds lots of flavor. Funk stuff, Garibaldi. Yes, thanks for answering. You're welcome. I hope that was helpful. Traditional Grip the Movie, says Emmett on Facebook. Yes, for those that Oh man, Traditional Grip the movie. Yeah, we should watch that on here sometime. I wanted to set up a thing where I could share my desktop but still have like a little camera on the bottom. I think that would be fun. And then we could watch things together. Yeah, for those that haven't seen it, like me and my friend made a short film called Traditional Grip the movie, and this was a long time ago. Traditional Grip the movie. Let's see if we can find it. Yep, here it is. The classic. And it starts out with me and my friend, like we're playing video games, and oh man, I'm not going to play it because I don't know if the audio is going to work or not. But yeah, Traditional Grip the movie. It's on my channel actually. But I'll get a thing set up where, because I've been wanting to do that. I've been wanting to like share videos and discuss them and stuff. There's a couple of videos I think we can get away with watching that are not like copywritten, you know. Oh man, let's see. Borba Cymbals is back. Borba, what's up? Happy Saturday, Steven. Been to the Spud lately. What's the last band you've seen? Oh man, at the Spud. He's talking about the Baked Potato Jazz Club here in LA. Man, it's been a minute, and there's been these bands that I want to see. There's a Zappa, former members of Zappa's band, and some not so former, but you know, guys that have toured with Dweezil and stuff. Like, they've been gigging around a lot. I did a couple of nights at the Spud, and I wanted to go to that because that's Joe Travers on drums, and Joe is just my favorite guy for the Zappa stuff. And so I wanted to see that, but I didn't. So this is me telling you the bands that I wanted to go see, but I didn't. But you know, I'm thinking about going actually. I think I'm going to go, what is it, Wednesday the 22nd. Louis Palmer is at the Baked Potato, you guys. Louis Palmer, those of you who don't know, is a great drummer, is a friend of mine. I'm just confirming the date of his show because we exchanged text about it. Yeah, Wednesday, this Wednesday. I think I'm going to go to that actually. So that should be fun. Seeing Louis, he's a great drummer, and I haven't been for a while, so it'll be nice to get out there. But I should go. I should go more actually, because there's still so many great. Sorry, I dropped the stick earlier. There's so many great players that play there, and it's always fun. And I know if I go, it's just going to get me jazzed to play there again, because I used to play there a fair bit. So I should really get a thing together. And play there again, because that'll be fun. Maybe I'll stream that. We'll see. So yeah, that's it. We're all caught up with the comments. So I guess we should call it. Eh? We've been streaming for a while. So, and I have to go. Okay, yeah, my friend just texted me, and he's like, the lighting above you makes your head look shiny. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah. All right, noted. Noted. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. Apologies for the stream earlier. The sound was all garbage. I deleted it on YouTube. I still have to delete it on Facebook actually. But yeah, we're gonna get it right. We'll probably schedule another one. And we're going to get the sound right, and we appreciate you guys hanging out, you folks hanging out, and talking drums. This is fun. We're going to keep doing this, all right? And if anyone else is streaming, send me a link, you know? And folks were asking me to make a video and put it on my channel, and I started actually making a video about my streaming setup, kind of explaining what it is. But I didn't like it, and so I didn't finish it, but I still may finish it. We'll see. We'll see. All right, this is Steve Holmes signing off. Thanks for hanging out, folks. We'll see you next time.